The CEOs of Discord, Reddit, Twitch, and Steam have been invited to testify before Congress. This comes on the heels of Charlie Kirk's assassination. As we can see here, here's the press release for it. Chairman Comer invites CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify on radicalization of online forum users. Here's the actual page, the link to this page. I'll go ahead and leave that down in the description for you guys to go ahead and read yourselves, even though I got it right here. It's what I want to say is it's not a coincidence that this is happening after Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is something that's been coming. Unfortunately, there is too much radicalization online. Fortunately, too many people online are absolutely okay with letting their emotions carry them 24/7, which is not right at all. The distinction that I like to make between humans and animals is that animals allow their emotions to carry them 24/7. Doesn't matter what an animal is doing, they're acting off their emotions. We as humans have the intelligence and the wisdom to not allow something like that to happen to us 24/7. Yes, there are times where we do allow our emotions to take the best of us. It's unfortunately that is part of human nature. It's not part of human nature to allow our emotions to carry us 24/7. That's animal nature. And I wish, I pray and hope for that more and more people realize this. They don't have to let their emotions carry them. Radicalizing yourself because of what someone else thinks, what someone else does, what someone else says, allowing your emotions to just come up right away and not think before you speak and just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. That's not the way to live at all. Here in the United States, and not just the United States, worldwide, we're witnessing firsthand what happens when when we fail to think, when we fail to calm down. Take 10 seconds. As children, we've all heard, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Or if you're frustrated or upset, count to 10. The point of that is just to calm down, allow you to take a second thought. Take some time to realize, hey, what I'm about to say, is it okay to say it, or is it wrong to say it? And the other thing I want to say is that doesn't infringe on the First Amendment, because these CEOs have not testified before Congress yet. As we can see here, October 8th, 2025 will be the day, which is not far from now. Today's September 19th, and we're less than 3 weeks away, just under 3 weeks away from that, from them testifying before Congress. And I already know there will be people saying this infringes upon the freedom of speech. They want to take away our freedom of speech, but no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. If we look at what freedom of speech actually allows, it allows a lot. It allows us here in the United States to say anything we want. But what people need to realize is that, like Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And the freedom of speech, definitely falls under that. If you're going to slander somebody, there's going to be consequences. You're going to defame somebody, there's going to be consequences. There's always consequences. There are good consequences and there are bad consequences to everything. And defaming somebody, slandering somebody, insulting somebody, putting words in someone else's mouth, there are consequences to that. And unfortunately, these 4 companies here, yes, they have many users on those platforms that don't think before they speak. Yes, they have the freedom of speech to say what they want. Of course you do. But there are consequences, and at this point, I do realize that I sound like a broken record saying that, but it's the truth. And I say it over and over because these people need to realize it. There are consequences to everything we do and say. That's not going to change. That's been the same since the beginning of time, and it'll be like that since till the end of time. There are consequences for everything. Absolutely everything. You know? Now, after these for these four CEOs have been called to testify October 8th, 2025, the next thing that's actually happening, because this came out now the 17th, which was 2 days ago, today September 19th, Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off air. That again is going to fall under the same argument that people are going to make: freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is being infringed. And I want to say, no, it's not. It's like I just said, there are consequences to everything we do. And Jimmy Kimmel is facing those consequences right now. People online are acting like Donald Trump is the one who fired Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't heard anything of Donald Trump having a hand in the I believe the show is called Jimmy Kimmel Live or something like that, and that show being taken down. If it does come out that, yeah, Donald Trump did have a hand in it, then that's wrong. Again, because we have the First Amendment, freedom of speech. I hope he does not have a hand in Jimmy Kimmel being taken off air. I do want to get that out there. But he is facing the consequences. And hopefully, Jimmy Kimmel comes to the realization that just because he thinks he can say whatever he wants, does not mean that there won't be any consequences to face. For example, let me give an example. Jimmy Kimmel, very famous person here in the United States. Don't know how famous he is outside of the United States, but in the United States, he's very famous. Let's say he goes on to his talk shows, or actually, you know what? Doesn't even have to be on his show, because the show is canceled. Let's say he's no longer online, so he can get a Twitter account, Instagram, a Snapchat, Reddit account, YouTube account, TikTok account, whatever social media platform he wants. Let's say he gets on all those social media platforms for just one social media platform, and let's say let's say he just starts. How would I put it? Well, let's do the thing that he always does. First time Trump was president, now Trump is president for a second time. Dude always goes after Trump. He knows it's easy money. People are going to view him. Views go up. Easy for him, right? As do many other comedians and many other people all over social media do the same thing. Actually, you know what? That example does go into what I'm saying now. It's not really a different example. Again, consequences. Well, I guess what I want to actually say is, let's say I go ahead and start talking about bad about Jimmy Kimmel right here in this YouTube video, and I just start spewing all kinds of nonsense, and he's made aware of it. Now let's think for a second. If I do that, will Jimmy Kimmel take some kind of will he retaliate against me? Yeah, there's a good chance, especially if I'm spewing some hot garbage, like really, really hot garbage. There's a good chance that he'll retaliate against me, and I'm not saying physically. I'm saying using the law. Guy could easily come after me. He has millions. I got nothing. He could easily sue me, get me off of YouTube and any other social media platform. Because as we've seen here in the United States, getting banned off of social media platforms is not It's not a far-fetched idea. Our current president, what the same thing had happened to him. Destiny, now in recent days, I believe yesterday, was banned off Twitch. Now he believes he's going to be banned off YouTube. Again, consequences. So if I go ahead and spew hard garbage about somebody, they can sue me, and it can get to the point where I get taken off social media, get completely banned off social media. Happened to Destiny, happened to our current president. Now it's happening to Jimmy Kimmel, not on TV. Now, we don't know if he's going to appear on another network, because as if we know right now, he's off of ABC, which is owned by Disney, from what I understand. We don't know if he's going to go on to any other network, because another network can come and scoop him up, and he continues the same thing. But that there does go to show that no, his freedom of speech is not being infringed upon. Same thing with Destiny. His freedom of speech is not being infringed upon. These companies, for example, Twitch banning Destiny. These companies have a obligation to go ahead and how should I put it? Um, Defend. I guess they have a right to defend their image, the way they look towards, the way the public looks at them, how the public perceives them. And it looks like with Destiny, he got to a point where Twitch said, you know what, that's it. Same thing with ABC and Disney. They looked at Jimmy Kimmel and said, you know what, that's it, dude. You've continuously to push the envelope, and this time you've just gone ahead and blown the envelope wide open. Same thing with Destiny. Both of them have done the same thing. And the same thing with Trump when he was banned off Twitter and other social media platforms. Same thing. But here's the thing. Another example of your freedom of speech not being infringed is, what did Trump do? He went and created his own social media platform, from what I understand, called Truth Social. If we really did have no freedom of speech, that's something that Trump would have never been able to do. Go ahead and create his own social media platform. From what I understand, Destiny now is going to go around the United States on some type of tour, and I believe it's called Unf America. Basically, what Charlie Kirk is doing, but he's gonna go out and do it his own way, speaking to, I'm guessing, at conventions and campuses and whatnot. Again, Destiny would not be able to do that if his freedom of speech was being actually infringed on. If we had no freedom of speech, he wouldn't be able to do that. Our freedom of speech protects our right to go out and speak. Jimmy Kimmel's gonna be back. How will he be back? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure of it. He'll be back with it. If it's ABC, fine, he'll be back on ABC. If it's not ABC, some other network will pick him up, or he could go ahead and just open a YouTube channel and be back that way. I'm guessing whatever way he'll be back will be the way where he gets paid the most amount of money, which it makes sense. We live in a country with capitalism pretty much reigns number one. But anyways, capitalism in this video is neither here nor there. The point of this video is freedom of speech and consequences. Consequences of using our freedom of speech in a bad way. But like I said, no one's freedom of speech is being infringed upon, but there are consequences all the time. Good consequences, bad consequences. You guys want an example of that? I tell my little siblings all the time. Imagine you go to school. It's the start of the week, Monday. You have math class on Monday. Math teacher says we have a test on Friday on chapters 1, 2, and 3. So what do you do when you get home? Study. Monday night you study. Tuesday night you study. Wednesday night you study. Thursday night you study. You have 4 days to study. All right? Friday comes. If you haven't studied those 4 days, the consequences of not studying for your math test is going to be you fail your math test. Do study those four school nights, and the consequences of studying is passing your math test. There are good and bad consequences, and I just wish more people here in the United States would realize that. Because here's the other thing I'll say: the people that are not realizing that there are consequences to any and all actions we take is that they're not dumb. They're not dumb. They're not stupid. They're not idiots. They are intelligent people. But sometimes when we let our emotions carry us, we lose. It's like we lose sense of what makes us human. It's like we start to act like animals, just letting our emotions carry us. And we've all been victims of our own emotions. Like for example, you get hungry and now you're upset and all cranky and frustrated, and here comes. You go and get some food and now you're happy. Again, there you go. You let your emotions carry you. Or you can choose, hey, I'm hungry. You know what? Let me not get frustrated. I get hungry every day. We all get hungry every day. So why let emotions creep in at just any moment? Gotta take some time and think about it. It's like, hey, am I really gonna let my emotions just carry me at this point? Or am I gonna take a step back and say, you know what? Let me go ahead and just let me think about this. Let me think about what exactly is that I'm thinking of doing right now? Does it actually make sense? Can I take a better path? More often than not, yeah. We there is a better path to take. There will be some times where there's no better path to take, where it's like, well, the only path to take is, this one right now. But more often than not, yes, there is a better path to take. So that was the point of this video. I know it's a bit long-winded. Please leave your comments down below. Like I said, the link to this press release, I'll leave it in the description below. Let me know what you think.